my name. Make me forget everything when you call me late at night. I remember you touching my body. The way you get to me deep where my heart is. Love me so good, but I wish I was heartless.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
We're in Miami.
Yay, beautiful Miami. It's about 88 degrees. It's rained on and off, but you know, Florida. It's a flash in a pan and then it goes away. Everybody stands outside and waits for it to pass and they go on with their day. But we just completed a TSA load. So if you are driving or drivers or wanting to drive, TSA is certification to pick up at the airports and drop off at the airports, any airport.
Right.
So we used our TSA certification for this load, and with TSA and picking up at airports, there's a lot of paperwork involved, and doesn't matter which agent you work for, you're going to wait.
Yeah, and I mean, otherwise it's a really short certification. It's a little class that you have to take. I think there's a little quiz at the end. It's nothing major there. They basically just go over all the safety concerns and details of what, you know, the do's and don'ts, that kind of thing. This particular load, it picked up in Ohio at a facility, manufacturing facility, and then it was going to the airport here in Miami. So we only actually had to deal with the airport on this side. Usually it's one side or the other.
Right, one side or the other,
right?
Yeah.
This one, our freight was ready. We actually got there about 30 minutes early. We're supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. Got there about 30 minutes late, 30 minutes early, and the freight was ready. They went ahead and they loaded our truck. However, the paperwork is not ready. And they're really strict on the paperwork anytime it's anything to do with TSA. So we basically had to wait for FedEx to deliver the paperwork before we could leave with the load. So
because they loaded us right away. We're like, oh wow, we're gonna get out of here, this is great. 2 hours later for the paperwork.
Yeah, we had to, there's a little parking lot across from the loading docks. We just had to park there and wait for the, like I said, the FedEx guy to get there with the paperwork, and they brought it out to us, and then we were good to go and on our way.
And this is where you want to work with the agents real closely, because it's very aggravating. But like we said, it's not any one agent. They would have let us leave without the paperwork. They were ready. Okay, y'all ready to go.
The shipper is no concern to them, and then you're in trouble when you get to the airport. You don't have the paperwork, and they won't take it. 1,000+ miles away, and no certification to put it on. Yeah. So we waited on the paperwork and finally got that going, and team drove down. It was a quick one. They usually are overnight. So we drove overnight, back and back, and got here to Miami. I think you drove till almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I picked up and then took off, and we got here this morning about 10. I mean, even though we were scheduled for 10 or 10:30, we still made it. It was a miracle. I was surprised, even though we were like held up for 4 hours. But we got to the airport, and you went in and did all of the hard work. That was a different experience. I don't know how familiar you are with Miami. If you speak Spanish, you'll be great.
Sail right through.
If not, think of it like a border town in Texas or California. There's more people that speak Spanish than English, so I actually had to have someone kind of help interpret with the person that worked there on how to check in and how to go over my paperwork and that sort of thing.
Your check-in also is in Spanish.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave you a machine.
At this particular location, all the signage, everything was in Spanish. You check in on a computer. They have a little scanner for your driver's license, and I'd say probably at least 80% of everything, even on the computer, is in Spanish.
Right.
There's not a lot to do with it, so
like the guy helped me this one time, and I would be good to go from now on. It's not that difficult. You just have to know which icon to click on, then put your license in, and then you wait for it to give a ticket, which is a little strange too, because every place you go with TSA, it's going to be a little different. Every airport, they do things just a little differently.
They do.
This one, you had to wait for the ticket, gave you a ticket number, and it looked like it was going to print one. They might do something with that behind the scenes, but it doesn't affect you at all. They just actually call your name later after when they're ready for you. So the lady called my name, and I just handed her the paperwork. She went through everything, gave me a little sticky note to write my phone number down, because they actually text you the dock door number that you're going to back into on your phone. So like I said, everybody does a little different, but that's the way this location did here in Miami.
Meantime, I'm out there in the truck. It's crazy there. You can imagine Miami Airport. It's it's busy, busy, busy. Trucks coming and going. There's nowhere to be. Absolutely nowhere to be. If you do pull up in there, you'll see double yellow lines, and you can park within those 2 yellow lines that go all the way, run all the way down in front of all the docks. And that's where you wait to get your dock number. And once you get a dock assigned to you, then you can back in. But it is crazy, crazy, crazy. So, where to park in Miami is it's like California on steroids. I mean,
right. That was the thing. After we finally delivered the load, then okay, where are we going to be?
Yeah, we tried a few places. $25 per day, 24 hours.
Right.
No.
And we're actually going to, since it's a holiday weekend, kind of with the 4th of July coming up,
we didn't want 3 days on our load.
Yeah.
Our next load.
Yeah, so we didn't want to pay, $7,500, whatever, to park the truck. So this is one of those times when you want to utilize the travel plazas.
Yes.
They have those on turnpikes usually.
The Florida Turnpike. You come down the Florida Turnpike, and they're very frequent in between. You got buses and RV parking, which we can park in the RV parking or the truck parking.
Right.
But you don't want to pay. That's the free part, and they're clean.
If you want to be close, there was some pilots and some other places, but all truck parking is pay to park. So if you just want to be close, you don't mind paying, you're good to go.
Yeah.
If you'd rather not pay to park, then you're gonna have to drive just a little bit. It's like 20-30 miles outside of Miami.
Yeah, it's no big deal
for the closest one. But
in fact, we're here at one now, and this is how scarce the parking spots are. Had a guy come up and knock on our door.
Yeah.
And asked Chris if he would trade places, because there's a bobtail in one, and he was hanging out.
Yeah.
And so we did. We traded.
We were actually here. We were actually here early enough to get a full spot. I mean, it did fill up quickly, and we kind of made sure it worked like clockwork, because we didn't want to lose our spot altogether. But tried to help the guy out.
Right. Yeah. But we also wanted to tell you, we met a Landstar team drivers while we were doing one of our loads. And it was very interesting, because they came up to our window. We were parked, and it turns out that we were doing a run with them, separate, but we were splitting up the load because it grew. It was too much, and they were the same kind of truck we are, Landstar.
Straight truck.
Yeah. But they were like, we know you. I introduced us, and they're like, we know you. We see you on the YouTube, and our first thought, mine was, and his was too, we talked later, was they have us confused with somebody else, but it turned out they did know us.
Right.
And they're an awesome couple, awesome couple. They do the same thing we do, retired and doing this.
It's nice just, meeting other people that's doing what you're doing, and, thankfully they actually had more information on the load we were doing at the time, because our agent practically told us nothing more than the usual would be here at this time, and that's what we did. We didn't know there was going to be another truck that, we didn't know any of that stuff.
So it was wonderful to meet somebody out there that actually has seen our YouTube channel. We were surprised. But anyway, we're here in Miami. We're going to go to the beach in the next couple days, and we'll get some good footage, I hope. And thanks for watching again, guys, and we'll talk to you later.
There's something about the way that you say my name, make me forget everything when you call me late at night. I remember you touching my body, the way you get to me deep where my heart is. Love me so good, but I wish I was heartless.